I don't feel like such a misfit anymore, because I've always felt like a misfit. So I've just got in. Yeah, I feel a little bit under the weather, but not too bad. I don't feel poorly or anything like that. I just think it's been the outcome of a really exciting but busy time, and yeah, I'm a little bit tired. James is away, so I've been having extra early nights, and he got me some special tea, so I'm armed and dangerous today. Yeah. Anyway, and even though I haven't got tons achieved really this week so far, it's only sort of halfway through the week, I have been coming in quite early, and I'm in quite early again today. So doing the showing up thing, but also within my own boundary, if you like, of it feeling good, of it being part of my well-being, and so not having to rush and not putting a load of pressure on myself. And I do have certain things that I need to get done, as we all do in the week. So I am getting on slowly with those. Thanks for all your comments about the naps as well from last week's video. Some really, really good ideas, and perhaps I'll share those with you as well. I made a little list off the comments from last week. Loads of good ideas. I haven't managed to nap myself yet, but I am having rests, and I think, you know, maybe some of us aren't actual nappers, if you like. Anyway, I think I'm just trying to live my life in a way so I don't need a vacation from it, if you like. And I'm really fortunate in the sense that I'm running my own little business here, and so I get to choose my timetable a little bit more. And I do commit to certain things and schedule certain things every month, particularly with regards to the Patreon offerings. And I like to stick to those. And I'm good with that. I'm good with a bit of discipline and a bit of structure and routine. Love a bit of routine, but at the same time to balance that out with the other good stuff as well. Anyway, I'm going to have my morning brew and make a list. I think that'll be my first step for today. I think at the top of my list I'm going to write go to the studio, because I made it in, so then I've got something to cross off at the beginning without even starting, if you like. Do you ever do that, where you make a list, put a couple of things on the list that you've already done, and then you feel really good? Sorry about the bumps and bangs. Yeah, they're delivering the beer and things downstairs. You know, when you put some things down on your list that you can cross off because you've already done them, it's a bit like getting up in the morning, for me anyway, getting up in the morning, making your bed, and then before you even realise it, sometimes doing yoga as well without even waking up properly, and before you even realise you've done a load of things off your list before you're even awake. I got a really exciting book as well. I told you a few weeks ago I'm trying to expand my book collection after letting go of not all but most of my books, and certainly within that nearly all of my art books that I had collected over the years. And I don't have many regrets about the things I let go of. Maybe I'll do a video about that one day, about, you know, how to let go of your stuff and what not to let go of, because I let go of a couple of things that perhaps I wish I hadn't. But I've wanted this book. Is that going to be in focus? Hopefully. I've wanted this book for ages. It's been on my wish list, and I got a second-hand version of it, and yeah, it's just full of some fantastic colour recipes. But I've been doing a lot of work recently in the last sort of 6 months, maybe 9 months, since I sort of really got into my flower powers, if you like, with colour mixing and advancing my skills in that area. There's so much to know about colour and colour relationships and colour mixing. It's a very exciting science, and also something that you can work with intuitively as well, I think. So it's taken me a little while to get out of the house today. It's about 10 o'clock now, I think. And I did have a little sleep in actually, because, as I said yesterday, I think, I am a little bit under the weather. And I think it's a change in seasons, and, you know, it's been a really busy time, so I'm a little bit tired. But I slept so heavy last night, amazing. One of the nap tips suggested about magnesium supplements or high magnesium foods. And I have to say, I've been taking magnesium usually before bed, a couple of hours before I want to go to sleep. And I sleep heavier. And if I don't have it for a few days or a week or so, I notice. So a little sleep or nap tip there. And sleep's very important, you know. We regenerate everything in our sleep, and also process a lot of psychological and subconscious stuff. I had the weirdest dream last night, and it woke me up. My heart was pounding, kind of like spooky dream. So yeah, anyway, I'm actually on my way in now, finally, and I'm not sure what I've got to do today, because I've just had like half my coffee, half a little cup of coffee, and I normally sit and do a little plan for my day. I haven't done that yet, so I can't tell you anything. But I've had a really difficult situation with the post office on a few different levels, really. We're having some postal strikes in our country at the moment. The postal workers aren't happy with their situation, and I don't mind at all them making a stand and being able to strike. It does obviously influence and affect me, because I'm trying to post things with the shop and everything. And also we've had a few parcels that have arrived. I've been out, and they leave a little card, and then you go to the main office and pick things up. But unfortunately, I went this morning to pick up a couple of things. There's a parcel, I think both parcels might be for James actually, and he's away at the moment. He's working away this week again. So I went to, pick them up, and we can go faster on this bit. Yeah, I went to pick them up, but as I went to park at my usual little spot, I kind of go down the back roads because it's easier, because there's a load of traffic lights and things, whatever. Anyway, like roadworks and stuff. But this woman in a very large posh car was blocking the lane, so I couldn't get through. Anyway, as I pulled up, I thought she would, just reverse a little bit so that I was able to get through, but she didn't. She just completely ignored me as if I wasn't there. So I beat my horn, really lightly, just beep, beep, light little beep, a polite little beep, if you will, a little nudge of like, can you get out the freaking way, please? But polite-ish. Anyway, she still ignored me, so I beeped a bit louder and said, would you move? She sort of looked up then, and she was like, no. I was like, well, I can't get through. She was like, well, someone else has just got through. I was like, okay. So she's in that mood. Anyway, she wouldn't move. So I tried to get through and I couldn't get through. So I wound my window down and I said, look, I'm really sorry, but I can't get through. I've tried, but you are actually blocking the road. Would you just, if I reverse a bit, would you pull up onto the curb? Anyway, she was most disgruntled. She did that. she said someone else had got through, and I said, well, I'm not confident enough to do it. It was really tight. And I thought, well, I don't want to scrape my car, but I don't want to scrape her car if she's a bit of a, you know, grumpy lady. I'm being polite there because I know this is going on YouTube and I'm talking to you, so I don't want to be rude, but yeah, in my head, a little bit more embroidered language, shall we say. But anyway, she did this and I got through. When I came back, she'd moved the car back and she wasn't in the car. Big car, like a big Range Rover or something. So there was somebody pruning trees and stuff, gardening nearby, and helped me get through. It was really, really tight. And he sort of said, you know, the other car had real trouble getting through, but she wouldn't wind her window down, she wouldn't interact. So we were both like, okay. Anyway, that was just the mood she was in today. So thank heavens for that lovely gardener, because I don't think I'd have got through there on my own. And as it turned out, the mission I was trying to achieve was to pick up some parcels from the main office, and the main office had a sign up. This is why I'm telling you the story, by the way. It's very long-winded, isn't it? Sorry about that, but the whole point of the story was the fact that the post office is closed because they're striking for 2 days. So, there we go. But as I say, I don't mind, because I understand they're not happy with their situation, as many people aren't right now. Not sure what they're doing. They're going to be digging up the road, I think. I made it now, and I'm not in a grumpy mood, and I don't want to be in a grumpy mood from, you know, things that happen externally, if you like. I want my inner terrain to be unbothered by things that are inevitably going to go on. It's something, I don't know if you've heard of it or if you're into it, and if you're not, just ignore me, but I'm really into human design, astrology, the I Ching, things like that. The mystical, esoteric side of things, if you like. And in my human design, I'm an open emotional, is that right? So basically my emotional centre is open, which means if I go out and about, mix with, you know, people, heaven's sake, I find it quite easy to absorb their emotions, and it affects my psyche, if you like, energetically. So, and I do notice that as well. And the other big thing, maybe to tell if you're the same type, which is I think it's called an open emotional or a non-emotional. It doesn't mean you're not emotional, it just means that you react to other people more because it's an open centre. So anyway, I can't explain it very well because I'm not an expert, but yeah, you will find that when you're on your own, you feel completely at peace, which is a complete contrast of how you feel in other people. And it's a big part of why certain people need that time on their own. So you can look it up. There's is it humandesign.com, and I really like Jenna Zoe. Is it Jenna Zoe? Jenna Zoe. She's really good to follow. She's got a great website, and you can look up your chart. You put your birthday and time in and find out what type energetically you are. It helps you make decisions. It helps you understand other people that you think are being a bit weird, because we're all a bit weird, aren't we? I'm going to stop waffling now, because I'm doing a Wendy waffle, and I'm trying not to do those, you know. I haven't done one for ages, so I'll see you at the studio in a minute when we get there. Have a morning brew, shall we say, whether it's a coffee, tea, or something else, matcha, or, yeah, hot lemon. So I think one of the parcels was James has ordered a pair of glasses because, yeah, he went to the opticians a few weeks ago, which I really need to go to the opticians as well. But yeah, he's a little bit more on it and organised than me. But there you go. And yeah, you might think, oh, she got new glasses, but I haven't. These are really, really old. They're about six years old, maybe, something like that. So yeah, I've reverted back to these to help me see a bit better, because I can't see very well. Anyway, I've got to go and get my eyes tested, that's for sure. But let's have a drink while we're waking up. Cheers to you. And yeah, with a morning brew or an afternoon brew, whatever time of day, wherever abouts you are. And yeah, you probably see in the behind me that I've got some paintings I've been working on. So that's kind of what I was doing yesterday, and plotting things out on the timeline for the Patreon video and things like that, because I'm doing something a little bit more, it's a bit discombobulated in a way, because there's a little bit of everything going on, all the catching up things that I've been trying to get round to. So I'm kind of putting all that together into this big mega video, if you like. But one of the things is working on these paintings, which I'm really enjoying doing. You know, Wendyfying, and I love gold edges and I love adding gold. I think it's sort of like stemmed from me loving the gold frames and kind of wanting to kind of create that, which then led into my stenciling work as well. And yes, people are calling it my Wendyfying process. So I'm just kind of adding text, the gold edges, and it seems to finish them off nicely, I think. And then some of the stenciling as well, just mixing it up a little bit as well. So some are busier, some are quieter, some have more or less additions. Working with my scripting and on this one, and all this embellishment on the sides. Anyway, that's what I was doing yesterday, and I didn't really film, so sorry about that. Got kind of engrossed into what I was doing. Going back to what I was saying in the car then about the post, I've had a major technical glitch on the Patreon, and I don't know if anyone else is watching and they also have a Patreon account and they send out mail to their patrons. Let me know if this has affected you as well, because Patreon recently, God bless them, for the intention of improving their system, have made some major technical changes to their whole interface, where for me I've noticed some extra clicks needed and things being moved about a bit. There's been a couple of things that they've actually removed, and I think they've already reinstated one of them. So, and they do listen to sort of feedback and get back to you on the tech support team, so that's good. They haven't so far resolved this major problem though, because the other issues are a little bit annoying, new things that you've got to get used to and that kind of thing. Sometimes I think, and as I get older, and maybe you feel the same as well, I don't want to, you know, brush everyone with the same paint, if as it were, tarnish everyone with the same brush everyone with the same paint, something like that. Anyway, if you're like me and, you know, as you've got older, changes become a little bit more tricky. And so with the world of technology and the speed of everything, and it changes so fast, doesn't it? It's a little bit discombobulating, or sometimes a lot discombobulating when they make a change. Anyway, that's all right, that's a bit frustrating. But with regards to me sending mail, James does the mass collection of addresses, if you like, and he puts it on something called a CSV. Now, I don't even know what CSV stands for, so he's going to laugh at this when he sees it, but he does all that, and he's done it for a long time now. So when I first started my mail tier, I was doing it all, you know, by hand and copying, pasting addresses and things like that, and he was like, no, that this is taking too long, you don't need to do it like that, I've got a better way. So he's been doing all that. And what we do is we send our post, and I don't know if anyone else does it this way as well. So again, you know, if you are running a Patreon account and you've encountered some problems, please do let me know, either via my email or, you know, comment down below, because I would really appreciate some assistance and support from anyone else going through a similar thing. But suffice to say, James and I can't gather all the addresses that we need for the month of September. So I know it's October now, but anyone that joined that tier or is in that tier actively in the two mail tiers that I have, they get sent their mail at the beginning of October. Of course, they haven't got their mail yet because we couldn't actually access the information. And you can go into the back office and look at all your Patreons and filter out, you know, different criterias and stuff, which is what we do. And then you can download the information in order to upload it to some kind of address label printing thing that James does. Anyway, this probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it's been a frustration this week, and I've been in heavy communication really with the Patreon support team, and they've suggested a couple of things which so far haven't worked. So I'm thinking they need to reinstate certain filters or ways of filtering. They'll work it out. I know they will. Thanks so much to the Patreons who are now waiting for their mail. And you know, I do pride myself as much as I can to be on time and consistent in there. I'm a bit upset about it. What can you do, eh? You're in hands of someone else running a company, and it's all a bit confusing at times, I think. Even the YouTube on Sunday, so last week, so by the time you're watching this, it will be last Sunday's video. Yeah, there was a technical problem with it. So I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to go live last week. I thought it was going to be late and stuff. Anyway, it's all in someone else's hands, so I just have to kind of go with the flow. And yeah, usually they sort things out really quickly, which YouTube did, thank heavens. So that was okay. What I found today in particular, but maybe for most of this week, is obstacles. And you know, when you get those times where you have these little obstacles, and maybe it's someone blocking the road, like, you know, the grumpy lady who was very, very snooty. Very snooty. She's going to get karma for that. Definitely not good karma as well. She could have discombobulated my day, but as I said in the car, you know, I like to keep my inner terrain as my own and keep that, all the borders of that, you know, very tightly soldiered, shall we say. And it doesn't always happen, but I'm getting much better at it as I get older. So, you know, it's all quite good getting older. I'm quite enjoying it. I think it's a lot easier being Wendy these days than it used to be being Wendy before. So yeah, lots of advice. I think I gave some advice to my younger self last week, didn't I? But yeah, I would have lots of advice. So maybe I need to write some letters to my younger self in my journal. I think that might be quite fun. I'll also show you, I've got some new additions to the studio. I've got these trestle legs, which I picked up from Facebook Marketplace a good few weeks ago now, and I've been looking out for a tabletop, but I just wanted something that was a bit higher, and I'm seriously thinking that I get rid of the Oval Office in actual fact, and just have something higher here and not quite so wide, I think. And so I've been looking around for a kind of perfect size tabletop. We were going to get some reclaimed wood and James was going to put something together, but we actually found something at the reclamation yard, which was really rather fun to have a little rummage round there the other day. So we were lucky and picked up a real bargain as well. I also picked up this a few weeks ago, this lovely little cupboardy thing. Can I show you? Yeah, so kind of up here. So there is a shelf here that sits on this table, but we're going to wall mount this one and it's going to become part of the shop. It's kind of rustic. It's very rustic actually. It needs a bit of a sand and a clean and whatnot. But it was such a bargain. Again from Facebook Marketplace as well. Someone's actually built this and put it together. I've never seen anything quite so quirky. And I kind of was looking for one with drawers as well. But I think this will be really useful because the shelving itself is actually quite deep. So it's going to hold things like the envelopes and things like that to help us sort the shop out, because the shop needs a little bit of love, which is a little bit of an understatement because it's a bit of a pickle right now. And I have got something else as well which I picked up from the reclamation yard, but I'll have to show you that next time because I can't get that in at the minute because it's in James's van and I could drive his van in, but it's got a weird foot brake that I don't want to deal with. So I've just been trying to have, well, not really trying to have a nap, but I kind of feel like I've had an awake nap, a rest, if you like. And I think, it does us good, even if we can't drop off to sleep. So I'm still working on that because I'd like to become a better napper, if you like. The other thing I've got going on is I've just been emailing Patreon again, and they keep suggesting things to do with the new interface. And I keep doing them and then emailing them back, but I don't think they really understand what it is I'm trying to do. And James is away Otherwise, he'd probably be able to explain it in a more technical fashion to the help support team, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it, definitely. I have absolute faith in them that they'll, work it out and help me, because I have no idea. The mind boggles, as they say. And I have been doing some work this afternoon. What have I been doing? Bits and bobs, bits and bobs. Things that are, admin-y and would be really boring if I, put them in the vlog, really. So that's why I haven't. And I have been house hunting still. So a little update on the house hunting situation. Prices are dropping. Now, we said it would happen, didn't we? We said it would go pop at some point. And I know that it will. I know that. But at the same time, I also know that it's going to take a little while to trickle through to the little people like you and me. But it is happening. So let me know as well if you're noticing it in wherever in the world you live, because around here, house prices, a lot of the rentals already, at least maybe 30-40% of the rentals that have been up a little while have been reduced, and I haven't seen that in a good few months. But I still haven't found my little hideaway in the woods, my little cottage. But I have faith I will find it. So yeah, thank you for helping me manifest it. And if you're house hunting or struggling in your situation to do with your house, home, shelter, lots of love to you, because it's pretty tricky at the minute. It's pretty tricky. If you are one of those lucky ones who is pretty secure in where you're living, then count your blessings right now, because it's a bit of a wobbly time. And prices for utilities. I absolutely love when I need to call we've got a provider that provides gas and electric to us at the minute. Supposedly you get a discount, you see, if you don't do it separately. And also supposedly you get a discount if you pay by direct debit, therefore giving them the right to up that monthly amount whenever they feel like it.
I think for me it's a case of I don't want to have foresight in the next 12 months. Right now I need to keep control over my money, every penny that comes in and every penny that comes out,
and then that can be withdrawn from your bank account. So it's like it's your money, but they have control. So they have to give notice though. And the only way that I've found to kind of get control back of my money, my own bank account, thank you very much, is to call them. And of course you have to be on hold and But I like to be patient, because it's not specifically the person who's on the other end of the phone, even though they work for probably a not very nice company, but at the same time it's not their personal fault, because they don't make the big company policies of being really greedy right now, just trying to get rich off other people's misfortunes. Bad karma is coming their way. We know it, don't we? Anyway, suffice to say, James and I, our direct debit amount, even though prices are going to go a bit silly in the winter, we've kept our payments the same. For the next 3 months anyway, we've got a freeze on it, and then I will have to call back in January and do the whole thing again. You have to let me know down below your stories as well, because we're on a wobbly time. And they say, is it a recession? I think there's something really serious going on with all the finances. I'm not an economist by any means, but I can tell that things have gone a little bit bonkers, and that some people seem to be getting rich off the backs of other people's misfortunes. So we've got our eye on that for sure, haven't we? Bad karma. Anyway, I'm going to put all this footage, all this filming on the editing timeline thing, and I need to get started editing it, otherwise I don't think it's going to go up on time. And we like it to try and go up on time if possible. What else have I got to do? I need to do a little part of voiceover for the end of the Patreon video. What shall I do next? I think I might make another tea. I've been drinking my echinacea, and somebody said to me put 2 tea bags of it, but it's elderberry and echinacea, organic bio tea. I don't like advertising tea companies really, but it's good tea. And if you put 2 tea bags in, it's even more powerful when you're not feeling very well. I've got sniffles and a cold and lady times as well, which has just happened today. So maybe that's why I've been feeling a little bit under the weather as well. And thanks for all the comments on last week's video and the congratulations for James and I and our anniversary, and also me getting my YouTube 100,000 play button, which I still can't believe, which is all thanks to you, of course. So massive thank you to you. And one thing I've realised as well from having this lovely community here is I don't feel like such a misfit anymore, because I've always felt like a misfit. Always kind of thought that there weren't many people that felt this way, if anybody else at all. And of course, as you get older and you realise that, yeah, quite a few of us feel a little bit like we don't belong, a little bit like we don't fit in many, if any, places. And I've certainly felt that throughout my life until I started this YouTube. So, all thanks to you and your lovely comments, to me and James, because I get lots of comments for James as well, so thank you for those, and also each other. So I'm just packing my bags to go home, and I just wanted to say before I go, try to keep your lights shining bright and your teacups full, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.